Garden State Film Festival. And here with me today, I have director, writer, producer of the film A Biker's Dream, Ken Glaser. Ken, how are you today?
Doing well. How about you, Emily?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So, Ken, can you give our live viewers a little tidbit about your film?
Yes, well, I've been making films for a long time. I started doing 8 millimeter film stock in my teens and try to cover a lot of different subjects. And for this particular one, I took my passion for motorcycling, combined it with my uh, editing skills and interest in music and dialogue and recitation to make something that pays homage to motorcycling. So it's a little bit whimsical. It's a little bit about the feeling of motorcycling, which some Air Force pilots have compared to two-dimensional flight or ultra-low flight because of the way you lean and you're in 3 dimensions going through curves. They compare that to flying. So I took that literally and made an animation that gives the motorcycle no restrictions in the up and down direction, and just tried to make something fun and informative about motorcycling, so the viewers can get a feel for it, and try to make it a little bit lighthearted and fun.
That sounds like fun. I've never thought, so I don't ride a motorcycle myself, but I can definitely see how it can be compared to flying, because essentially that's exactly what you're doing. Anytime I'm driving, I see it just whiz right past, and I mean, the saying typically is like, they're flying. So I can see where that comes in. But how long have you been, I guess, riding motorcycles?
Since I was 17, so that's many decades. And I started my motorcycling career in Essex County, New Jersey, where I was born. Lived in Jersey for a while, then transferred out to California. And in fact, the first film that I made that ever won an award was something that Garden State Film Festival awarded in 2008. Best music video, my film I Dream in Stereo. So
Well,
I've always,
welcome.
yeah, it's nice to be back after all these years. I just try to combine music and visual, and I've got so many inspirations from the famous directors and all that. So yeah, it's just a joy to share these bits with the audience, these films.
Yeah, you said so you've been doing this since you were 17. So I mean,
Yeah. Even before that, my dad was into 8 millimeter film, and for home movies, he always tried to give it a little extra twist with either stop motion animation or other kind of special effects for us kids, so we would enjoy the films even more. And he lent me the camera probably first when I was 13, and I made a film for my junior high school class. And since then, it's just always been a passion of mine, filmmaking and music. And then in the 90s, I started getting back into it with VHS camcorders, and now, of course, everything's digital, and that just allows so many more tools for the individual to really create interesting things, putting music and film and special effects and sound effects, and put everything together. And filmmakers out there know the editing process takes about 100 times more than the filming process, and especially you're dealing with animation, that even takes longer. So I tried to make sure every frame tells a story in this video, A Biker's Dream.
so you directed, you wrote, you produced, and it sounds like you've been directing and writing, producing for some time now. So with like you're out in LA or near LA. You said you're in
Yes.
Irvine.
Irvine, yes.
Irvine. So you're working as this is your day job. This is your night job, your weekend job, everything job. Right.
My day job is actually in the motor vehicle industry, specializing in motorcycle safety. So my day job allows me to invest in my night job, which is filmmaking, my passion. So yeah, it's just able to fill all the spare hours, whether it's music, working with a band, performing in a band, doing films, going to festivals. I've dabbled in stand-up comedy, so I just try to combine these
Jack of
things.
all trades, it sounds like. So you're saying you're also a musician.
Yes.
That's awesome. What
Yes.
instruments?
Well, self-taught on guitar and drums, and dabble in some other instruments. So yeah, I create music. My favorite thing, and inspired by people like Paul McCartney to create albums where I play all the parts, all the instruments, and all the voices. And collaboration is a big part. If I can't do something, I want the best to come in and help me. And for A Biker's Dream, there I was inspired music-wise by the Moody Blues, where on their early songs, they would have a recitation as part of the song. It might be an introduction, a recitation, then going into the music. And their keyboardist, Mike Pinder, would do the recitations in his very deep British voice. And I tried to emulate that. I actually tried to get Mike Pinder to do the recitations in this video, but I had no luck getting a hold of him. I found someone in Great Britain who understood the project, and I hired him to do the recitations, which are the verses. And then on the choruses, I do all the instruments and the multiple vocal harmonies. And so I give a nod to the Moody Blues style in getting this, trying to get a lush, upbeat soundtrack to highlight the fantasy nature of the video.
So, I mean, this is really cool talking to someone that's like working in film that also is like working on all these instruments too. How long have you been working on A Biker's Dream?
It started out as a poem that I probably dabbled in for a couple years, and kept going back to it until I got something that I thought captured the spirit and the emotions of motorcycling. And then it was about 6 months working with animators. My original idea was just to have two-dimensional still images, just simple drawings, like when I think of the AHA Take On Me video, just some simple black and white drawings, and for each line in the poem, just fade from one drawing to the next and have just something very, very simple, quick and dirty. Then I noticed the animators who were supplying me with these images, these were layered images, layered Photoshop images, and I discovered, wait, I can pull the layers apart and I could move them relative to each other and come up with some interesting animation and plot the motion. So it totally opened up the whole process and the whole concept of the film, where I can make it more animated. Now it's not a Disney animation, but it has some movement. I wanted some movement, and especially when the bike leaves the ground, and that's the exciting part of the film. With animation, your animation, your imagination just can be expanded so much more to tell a very interesting story you can't do in real life. So I learned new techniques doing this. And it was about a 6 to 8 month process working with the illustrators to make images and animate them, create nice movements, complex movements, to even show really how a motorcycle maneuvers. And the more they gave me and the more I was able to do with it, then I went back and said, oh, wait, let's go back and let's improve the earlier images and make something even more cohesive.
So you're talking about working with all these animators and these illustrators and these other musicians. How did you find all of these people?
Some of the animators are people I've worked with in the past, the illustrators. And to find a voiceover artist, I used some online searches and auditioned. First, I tried some friends who were from England, but it just wasn't right. And it's like, no, I'm gonna invest in this and get the best voice, get the best illustrators, and put together a nice package.
That's awesome. That's all. I mean, like, so these are people that you said you've worked with before?
Some I've worked with, some were brand new to it, but they're in my file if I do any similar projects in the future. But like I said, each one of my films is quite different than the rest, so I don't know that I would do another illustrated type animation. But we'll see. I try to create something every couple of years, something new.
And you were saying that, so this was something that was new to you, working with illustration and animation.
Yes, yes. I've mostly done live action before.
So I was going to say, you know, like you sound like you've been, you know, in this industry, like working like with films and making films and writing and producing for so long. My question I would like to ask is, you know, like, what would you say was like your biggest obstacle with this project that you think has bettered you as a director, writer, producer that you can use in the future?
Wow. One of the obstacles was just thinking too small in the beginning. And I couldn't think bigger until I just started noticing and working with the images, and it's like, wait, I can make something better. I don't have to just take the quick and dirty way. And going through a couple of different illustrators until I found one, and the one that I knew, the closest, Fiona Reswano, was one of the illustrators who ended up fixing a lot of the other images when I said, you know, if I can make this tweak, I can open up this scene and have something even more exciting. So making the illustrations and then realizing other opportunities and working with more illustrators to get just the right look, the right feel for this film.
You know, with all of this experience that you're talking about having, we do have, as like, this isn't your first time with the Garden State Film Festival, so I'm sure you're aware, we do have, you know, high schoolers and college students that submit films, and they're very fresh, like, to this whole, you know, world of art and film. And I would just, you know, do you have any advice that you would like to give, that, you know, something you learned from when you were 17 years old that you'd love to tell yourself back then?
You know, that's a good point you bring up, because with the tools that the kids have today, like when I was 17, 16, we're working with old style film cameras that literally, to edit, you're taking this physical film and slicing it with a razor blade and using cement to do edits. And I was trying to time it to a soundtrack that I put from recording TV themes on reel-to-reel and splicing that with a razor blade and tape and trying to match it up. It's like, you have all these tools, learn the tools, start making a film, and then don't be satisfied with what you have. Go back, sleep on it for a day, look at it and see, can I use more tools to make it better? Can I use my imagination? Don't settle. Go back, reshoot a scene if you're not happy with it. It's not done until you're 100% satisfied. Have a peer group, your friends, your family, even strangers. Show them. Get critique, because you have to be objective about it. So get some feedback, improve your film before you consider it done.
So before I wrap this up, What is your, your next, do you have any like future plans for Biker's Dream?
Um, Hard to say. I want people to see it. I want people to be inspired by it.
Mhm.
Um, I've had some international success at film festivals. I made a version with Japanese subtitles because there was a music video festival in Japan, and they're a big motorcycling culture. So just trying to get more people to see it and be inspired by it. And if someone's going to take up motorcycling, do it the right way. Get training. Keep your eyes open. Uh, the the road is not always a safe place. So
Mhm.
I just want to inspire people and make them happy with these films.
Well, I mean, I love that that is your motivation to make people happy. So Ken, I mean, I wish I could go on for an hour talking to you. Unfortunately, like we're about at time, but I do so appreciate you taking this time with me. I know that you had said you're not able to make it to the film festival this year. So it has been such a pleasure at least getting to talk to you somewhat face to face, getting to put a face to your name. You guys, you can all come see A Biker's Dream on Sunday, March 26th at the Kingsley Ballroom from 12 to 2:15. Ken, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a speedy recovery. Thank you so much again for joining me today.
Thank you, Emily. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope everyone enjoys all the wonderful films this year at the Garden State Film Festival.
Thanks, Ken. Take care.
All right, take care. Bye.